And we are going to call to order the salary board. Begin with a roll call, please, Lauren.
Absolutely. Commissioner Nieder.
I'm here.
Commissioner Fauci.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger. Controller Wickham.
Here.
Great. Next up is public comment. Is there any public comment to come before the salary board at this time? Lauren, is there anyone showing online as indicating they'd like to make public comment? No, I think we have a lot of people in the room, but they're here for some other good stuff. So we will move through the approval of the meeting minutes for the August 14th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second. It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up, the approval of the salary board actions.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary board actions except for this district attorney's office.
I'll second. It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So next we have a salary board action for.
I make a motion at this time to move for the approval of the district attorney's salary board actions.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None? Okay, we will move forward then with, is there any other business to come before the salary board at this time?
I'll make a motion to approve to adjourn.
Okay, you got it now. Thank you. We are adjourned from the salary board and we'll go into the Board of Commissioners meeting and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call it to order and begin with the roll call, please.
Commissioner Nieder.
I'm here.
Commissioner Fauci.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Next, we will open up the floor to public comment on non-agenda items. Is there anyone in the room or anyone online, Lauren? If you're online, please use the raise your hand feature if you'd like to make a public comment. Hearing none. Before we get in,
I think, are you raising your hand, Sean?
No.
Oh,
before we get into the fun stuff of the meeting, I did want to take just a moment to offer our condolences to the family of Nancy Besh, who died recently, who served Cumberland County with true distinction. And I know that everyone here in the courthouse really appreciated the leadership that she provided in the relationship she established. So to her family, we extend our deepest condolences. Moving on the agenda, we will go into the proclamation where we are recognizing September as National Recovery Month. So I'm going to read the proclamation first, and then we'll come up and have some pictures and have our director make a few comments. So the proclamation reads, whereas National Recovery Month is an annual observance dedicated to raising awareness about substance use recovery, celebrating the achievements of individuals in recovery, reducing stigma, and promoting access to effective treatment and support services. And whereas since its inception in 2006, Cumberland County's treatment court has successfully graduated 193 individuals, supporting their long-term sobriety and contributing to more than $6.3 million in savings in prison-related costs. And whereas since the launch of our medication drop box program in 2015, we have successfully removed 62,609 pounds of expired and unwanted medications from circulation in Cumberland and Perry counties. And whereas in May 2025, the county launched the new Law Enforcement Treatment Initiative, or LETI as it's known, a diversion program designed to support residents struggling with substance use who are currently involved or at risk of becoming involved in the criminal justice system. And whereas through the Pennsylvania Overdose Prevention Program, the county's Drug and Alcohol Department distributed 1,822 boxes of free naloxone to residents, first responders, and providers since May 2024. Now therefore, the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims September 2025 as National Recovery Month and encourages all residents to support those who want to begin recovery or continue their recovery journey. It's presented on this 28th day of August. So thank you all for coming, and we'll have a few folks come up and we'll do a formal pictures.
Commissioners for honoring the legacy that this county has had. Impressed with the legacy this county has had to build a foundation, many diversion programs that many of the teams here are a part of to help people get out of the system and stay into recovery. Cumberland County, we are so blessed with the many people from all over the county that are part of these programs and have been for years. So thank you for honoring those people that are in recovery and those people that are seeking recovery. It's a big step, but it sure is life-changing. So I'd like to ask my colleagues who have any way touched programs that are helping people in recovery to come on up, because you're part of Recovery Month. So.
And we're pleased to have a bunch of folks in the room. We have the DA, we have the judge. Come on in. So we'll take some formal picture.
I think Andy should have to.
I don't
Andy,
think-
so have you.
You threw me under the bus.
Andy.
Come on. No, I'm Andy.
Come on, yeah.
Both of you. And Travis.
Yeah.
A lot of people in recovery through the medical program.
Yes, he
and
does.
No, that's not.
It takes a village, doesn't it? We're squeezing. Can we get it?
All right. Okay, I think we're good. All right, everyone look here.
Perfect. Yeah, and would anyone like to make a comment? Judge, DA, I know you're getting ready. It's a new program or?
No, it's just, this county, Cumberland County, has put many different approaches to this issue. And, having a specialty court and having different programs to try to make a decision as to how we approach crime and addiction at the same time, because they're so often intertwined. I really appreciate all the efforts of all the different agencies in this county for everything that everyone does. And I think we really are a model for other counties as to how to approach this issue. So I thank everyone for all their hard work.
Judge Brubaker?
So I think this is very timely because yesterday was an end of an era for me because we had the last OIC graduation. So when OIC started in February of 2018, we were meeting every single day with the goal of keeping people alive pending the adjudication of their charges. And for a large part, we succeeded with that. And OIC made a huge difference. Clearly, drug treatment court has made a huge difference, and Tom's court as well, and all the programs that the county offers, and our county as a whole is much better for all of the programs and all the support, the commissioners, the DA's office. So I do want to say, because I said this, I was at a conference, a national conference last week for treatment courts. And some of the judges were talking about when participants enter these programs, the judge gives a welcome speech. And I very proudly told them that my DA gives a welcome speech. So Dan Sotis gives our welcome speech to our participants. And I think that's even more powerful than coming from me, that the prosecutor is welcoming people to the program and saying, we want you to succeed. And I think that just speaks volumes as to how our programs are supported in this county. So.
And if I just might add that last year, Skip Eber, former district attorney, former judge, was one of the people that spearheaded this program when he was a judge and started the first treatment court here in Cumberland County. So, certainly in his memory, I'm glad that we're continuing this fight.
And that's meeting momentarily. So do drug treatment program.
Thank you. thank you all for coming to participate. Yep, and we've got a couple of other special presentations to be made here. And as I always say, the best part of our meeting, employee recognition. We have someone with us for 25 years in MH, IDD, and that is Mark Evans. So Mark, would you please come up? And we've got quite a like, you know, team here cheering you on.
Nothing
So,
makes me happier than having.
so thank you very much for all your service. I think you were one of the first promotions that I was proud to be a part of. So I'm so glad you're in the role that you're in and continue and have been with us for 25 years. And Commissioner Eichelberger, I think you wanted to say a few
Sure.
words.
Mark, it's good to see another one of the old timer. So appreciate your being here. More importantly, we appreciate all the great work you've done.
Thank you.
Everybody knows this is the MH and IDD are some of the most challenging issues in front of county governments right now. So we need the resources. We need to use those resources effectively. You've been successful at allocating and winning new waivers on the IDD side, and that's really important and not highly visible to a lot of the public. So it's not always truly appreciated. But your work in particular, you know, I've been here a while. I've seen this guy develop, and you've really, that's the word. You've really grown the organization. You've rolled with the punches that this issue presents to us. And we're very pleased that you're where you are. You're going to stay there for a while longer. 25 years is a long time. I've almost peeked in here to see if we gave you the full amount. But we're pleased and proud that I have you here and to give you that.
Thank you.
We'll take some formal, and then if you want to say anything, Stacy, and we'll get Sue up here as well.
All right. I think we're good. All right. Okay, and then Sue, you wanna come on?
So while Sue's coming up, and I'm very excited because I haven't seen Sue in a while, I'll just say that Mark and I started working very closely when Sue retired last August, and I have very much appreciated our working relationship and the rapport that we've built, and thank you so much for your steady hand and your steady guidance.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mark, anything you'd like to say?
So
25
I'm not going to
years?
commit to another 25, but
We
I'll
always
certainly,
try, we
maybe
always
12. Yeah. I just really appreciate it. You know, it's really makes me proud that my whole career has been serving the individuals and families in Cumberland and Perry County. And I just appreciate this opportunity. So I thank you, the commissioners, for all their support, and the county for all their support as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, Sue, thank you for coming out.
Good to see you.
Yes, wow. All right.
Okay, you know what?
And we have yet another one to acknowledge. And this is kind of tremendous, 35 years. So Mark, not to one up you, but you know, you got a ways to go here.
I picked the wrong day to come.
To say that this guy's been a linchpin of our public safety is really putting it mildly. And so we couldn't be happier to be acknowledging Bob today.
Robert Shively.
Commissioner has some comments.
So, Bob, I have this for you. And thank you for all of these years of public service. Thank you for all of these years of keeping us safe. It is tremendous. Thank you.
So we will take a few formal, and then Bob, you've got an hour.
All right, take it everyone just a little bit. Perfect. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, I would probably start with how I got into business. It was three main reasons: the TV show Emergency with paramedics Johnny and Roy Gage.
So that was a big influence. Charlie Myers was the fire chief at Vigilant Hose. And I can remember elementary school with fire prevention. They would come screaming in with the sirens. And then my longtime neighbor and friend, Dan Reinhardt, was fire chief in Shippensburg. So I wanted to join the fire company, but mom said, no way until you got your Eagle Scout. So I had to finish that till I could join the firehouse. And then I started riding with him to work. And they were still in the basement of the courthouse here. And I hung around long enough until they let me join the club. So they had given me a time card because I was there so much that I would clock in and clock out just for free. And
You're the perfect employee.
and after about a year and a half, I took the test and was hired in 1990. So and they haven't been able to get rid of me since. But you know, after that, I've always loved living in the county. I have to thank Kurt Hull and Dan for keeping we switched schedules so that we could, you know, take care of the kids and get them to ice hockey and horse lessons and all that. I know I'll forget somebody. Ted Wise, John Schaefer was my first supervisor, so they give me enough rope that I didn't get in big trouble being a young kid and in charge young. And then probably most importantly, my wife, who keeps supper in the oven for hours on end. I get up in the middle of the night, take calls, and I usually either go to the bathroom because I'm like trying not to wake her, or like over to the office, and then I leave and try and sneak out, sneak back in to go on calls or whatever. Snowstorms 3 days at a clip, and I pack my bag and leave, and then try and get back home to shovel snow. But but thank you for everything, and thanks for all the support, and we certainly appreciate it.
Bob, thank you for 35 years, and
Yep.
you've seen some incredible changes and been a part of leading through those changes for this county. So we really appreciate it very much. As I said, perfect employee.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep.
And I think it's very cool that in all of the public service that you do and all of the, right, 3 days of snowstorm, you also play a fabulous guitar. Right? And you have taught me so much about horses. And right? So,
My daughter and her avid horse love.
yes.
I just want to add something. You know, we hired Bob in what was somewhat of a tumultuous situation. It was a major reorg going on at public safety. And he was the obvious guy for us to pick. And I don't think we've ever, any board of commissioners since that time has regretted that at all. This guy has exhibited leadership and good management of the changing situation down there. And he enjoys the utter confidence of the board of commissioners, past and present. So that is not a small feat. We chose the right guy, and he has more than lived up to the expectations that we had when we had to fill that slot. So we really appreciate that.
Bob, we're not gonna ask for another 35, but yeah, we'll take 5 or 10 or.
I'll give you at least a couple.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Stacy, did you have anything you
I
wanted
do,
to add?
I do.
Yes.
I'll say that, so I've been with the county now for, actually, I think I just hit an anniversary, 5 years, 9 months, a couple weeks ago, and I've had the good fortune of working with this young man for all of those 5 years and 9 months, and really appreciate your support of me and your willingness to always talk to me and always share what you're doing. So I want to share with all of you something that you really need to know about Bob Shively, and that is that he continues to lean in and step up every single day. He, at this point in his career, he could just sit back and rest on his laurels and coast out, but that is not in his DNA at all. And one of the things I think is so fabulous is how engaged he is with every single level in the department. Hearing from new employees, going to staff meetings, listening and changing things with his management team based on what he's hearing. And that means so much. And you're making such a profound effect on everybody who will come after you. But again, not after you for a very long time.
Or the P25 project.
Get a little gray on top. Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
All right. I think.
Did we get any pictures, Ben?
I think
Yeah.
I think we're good.
All right.
Okay, we're good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. I'll give a minute for folks to get re-situated and then we'll be,
We could stop in the mornings for the report, yeah.
this is the point in our meeting where we go through the consent agenda. So Stacy, you want to lead us through
Yeah,
that?
so the consent agenda is a list of routine items. They do not appear to be controversial in nature. They do not seem to require any additional discussion. If discussion is desired on any of the items in the consent agenda, and that would be agenda items number 7 through number 14. Now would be the time to make that request.
I'm going to offer qualified support on that action with 2 exceptions. Do you want those now, or do we want to pull that out to the action later?
You can either pull them out, or if you're gonna make exceptions to one or more of those, you can do it at the time of the motion.
Okay. We'll do it at the time of the motion. Thanks.
Thank you. Now would be the time to make that request. Okay, hearing none, seeing none, commissioners, I would request approval of the consent agenda.
We'll move to approve the consent agenda. We'll second it. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
Now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So these all look fine to me. However, I can't support the position. These are new positions, as I understand, public health technician and public health scientist. I don't think now's the right time for those, so I'm not supporting filling those positions right now. That's all.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, okay.
Then we approve it.
No, I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
As indicated.
I apologize for getting ready to move on before you had actually voted. That takes us then to the regular agenda, which is a list of non-routine items that will be discussed and may be acted upon individually. And we'll start with agenda item 15, which is discussion and approval for the planning department to accept donations that are listed on the agenda in the amount of $875 in total for farmland preservation. And we have Stephanie Williams joining us online to discuss. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. As I believe everyone is aware, we're approaching the milestone of 25,000 acres preserved. So on September 16th, we're going to be hosting a celebration at one of our preserved farm owners' properties. In order to be able to provide some refreshments for the day, since the event will run from roughly 11 to noon and concluding at lunchtime, we were able to get some donations from sponsors. Agrarian Associates offered $500, the Cumberland County Food System Alliance $250, and Wegmans a $125 gift card. Additionally, we do actually have another potential donation outstanding, is a gift card from Weiss Markets. So I would ask for your approval to accept those donations again, so that we may offer guests some refreshments that day.
We'll move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, Stephanie. That takes us then to agenda item 16, which is discussion and approval of the Cumberland County Children and Youth Services fiscal year 2026-2027 needs-based budget. And we have Nikki Gresh, Lisa Ryder, and Andy Beck.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So we're very happy. We had such celebrations early on, and then we're here for obviously our needs-based budget. So we're going to go ahead and start with the fiscal side of the budget, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the narrative. Good morning, Commissioners. Oops.
Me too.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was supposed to see that.
No, that's fine.
Thank you.
Sorry. I pulled out the wrong one. So we'll start with, this is our budget summary that I present to you guys each year when we do our needs-based budget. The first column of the budget summary is the fiscal year that we just ended, fiscal year 24-25. We ended the fiscal year, the expenses between fiscal year 23-24 and 24-25 have increased $3.4 million. And of that $3.4 million, 3.1 was in our purchase service category. That category is for our purchasing home services when children remain in their own home. And then it's for our out-of-home services, which are foster care, community-based group home, shelters, institutions, and YDCs. And that includes both children and youth and JPO. One thing I do want to point out, we will be an overmatch for fiscal year 24-25. The state typically makes us whole each fiscal year. I don't anticipate that being any different. They already made us whole for 23-24. As long as they have funds, they will make us whole. One of the reasons for being an overmatch for fiscal year 24-25, besides the increase in expenses, is when the state certifies us, they base that on, for this fiscal year, was the 23-20 or the 22-23 actuals. So in that fiscal year, we were still well under budget. So the actuals for that fiscal year was $25 million. And we finished fiscal year 24-25 at $31 million, which was higher than the $29 million that they certified us at. So that's why we're an overmatch. The biggest driver in our expenses are our congregate care kids. So I did an analysis of our fiscal year 24-25 kids that were in congregate care. We had 34 of them. Of those, 9 kids were in care 18 to 99 days. 9 kids were in care 112 to 191 days. 10 kids were in care 209 to 296 days. And we had 6 kids in care that were in care 301 or more, up to 365 days. Then I even broke it down to the cost of those kids, those 34 kids. 18 of those kids, their cost of care alone was between $10,800 and $87,000. 10 kids cost us between $101,000 and $190,000. 5 kids cost us between $205,000 and $275,000. And we had 1 youth at $311,000 just for his placement. And they informed me this youth is 13 years old and will be with us, yes, until up to possibly 21 years old.
And that's just the cost of placement. That's not the services they should be, the extra services they need to. Yeah.
JPO was similar, not quite as bad as us, but they were similar. They had they had 14 kids that were anywhere from 2 days to 81, 6 kids that were 109 to 181 days, 4 that were 220 to 299, and then 2 kids that were 365 days. Their highest costing youth was $240,000. They had 5 kids that were in YDCs. Knock on wood, there's nobody in a YDC right now, so keep our fingers crossed. The biggest with the per diems of these kids that I just identified is the high cost of their per diems. And they continue to have significant increases. And these providers, their increases are based on trying to keep employees, so giving them salary increases, their cost of their insurance, which I believe there are some providers that are having trouble finding anybody to insure them. So we do continue to see the costs rising. The second column is our fiscal year 25-26. We have no significant changes. I do anticipate being an overmatch again. It's going to take a little bit longer to come out of overmatch based on the high increase in per diems until we see some of these high costing youth leaving our care and custody and not getting replaced by high costing care, where we want to see them in foster care or kinship care will help us with the budget. I do anticipate being an overmatch again in that fiscal year. And then fiscal year 26-27 is our needs-based year. I did not request any there's no significant program changes. It's all just trying to catch up to the per diems of the providers. And we only requested one new employee for that fiscal year. I don't know if Nikki wants to talk about that.
Yeah, so the only employee we requested is for an emergency duty supervisor. So currently all the casework supervisors rotate to be on call. So they work during the day and then in the evening, they're on call. We've seen such an increase in the after hours calls that is kind of keeping them working all into the night. So we decided we were going to move forward with asking for an emergency duty full-time supervisor for the nights and weekends. So obviously we asked for that in our budget, and then we would bring it before you once it's approved through them when we're ready to.
And Nikki, when would you expect to hear back from the state, given the current situation of the budget impasse? Do you have any idea?
I do not. I mean, usually we hear in like February, March.
Usually in March, we hear our tentative numbers.
With a budget impasse, it could be longer. Yeah.
Was that delayed in past budget impasses?
What was
You
that?
said you normally get it in February or March, but we've been through a number of budget impasses. Has that resulted in a significant delay in the past?
I would have to go back and look. The
Yeah.
last time we had a significant delay in our budget, I believe was 15-16 fiscal year. So I can go back and look and see when we received our tentative allocation that year.
That was the December budget.
The
Yeah.
9 month, yeah.
And has there ever been a year in which we did not receive full reimbursement of overmatch by the company?
No, not since I've been here. And
Okay,
it's
thank
been almost 30 years. It's been major. And we do, every year we do appeal our certified numbers, because if the state does not make us whole, we can always go to the appeal process to fight for receiving the overmatch. Typically, the county share is usually 17.5% to 19% in the fiscal year 25-26. Without the state making us whole, it would be about 21-22%. And then if they make us whole, then it's like 17.8%. So we typically run 17 to 19%.
That is very consistent.
Yes, yes.
It should be, we have not seen a drastic increase in placements either. So these numbers of the cost of placements, we're seeing minimal up and down, which we normally see. Kids come in, kids go out. So we haven't seen any type of spike. It's the costs of the placements and the requirements for some of these complex kids. And a lot of them are connected to the mental health system,
Yes.
which, you know, Annie, Mark and I work a lot together on these complex kids and trying to figure out how to really help them.
When I was looking at the statistics of how long they were in care, the cost of care, I also pulled out the reasons why they're in care. And I picked the 10 highest length of care and dollar amounts. And of the 10 kids I identified, 6 of them had significant mental health issues. And some of them were untreated mental health issues. 4 of them were physical and aggressive behaviors and behavioral issues. 3 of them were sexual, either they were perped on or they were hurt. And then we had one youth who was an illegal immigrant who was in our care, just in a supervised independent living, which was very expensive. She has now left our care, and is now living independently.
So we haven't asked for a lot this year. Obviously, we're still just trying to play catch up. So no major services have been changed. And we continue to work with all of our providers to support them. And like Lisa said, we haven't had any providers come forward with that they could not get their insurance. But we are hearing that that is a pretty big problem across Pennsylvania. So sorry to bring the mood down.
Yeah. Nikki, what's the answer? Because clearly, years of being in a facility for a 13-year-old isn't a good solution for them.
No.
What is the solution to this? Is there one?
Yeah, I don't know. We're struggling, you know what I mean? We're really struggling. There was a time that the state got more involved in the contracting process and rate, setting. And then that has changed. And the problem is there's not very many placements anymore. There's not as many foster homes. There's not as many group homes. They closed the state hospitals. They didn't create more ways to support these individuals. I think cuts happening in all, and I think we can see it, cuts when they happen in mental health, cuts happen in drug and alcohol. We continue to have to help them. And so it's really all over the place. I mean, I think it's many different things that need to change. This youth is wrapped around all three of our systems. It has all three of us sitting at the table. We are brainstorming, we're on state meetings, we brought everybody to the table, and nobody has a true, clear solution for it.
When did the state change their involvement in the contract? You recall roughly?
That was, back when Wendy was here.
You mean when the state took over?
Yeah.
They started reviewing contracts in fiscal year 8-9. They determine allowable expenses. We determine the rates, but all these providers, once they get their approval from the state, they typically don't want to negotiate with us. So if the state approves and says your allowable expenses will participate in up to $1,000, and we come back and say, will you take 800? And they say, no, we're approved up to 1,000, and we have no negotiation power. More.
It's always impressive when a contract's presented that is below the state allowable, when an entity is.
We have a couple of those still, but not many.
Yeah. The mental health piece, you know, you talked about how so many of these children have need some mental health care. And with Criminal Justice Advisory Board, we have that discussion all the time about how if we could get mental health care well-funded and make sure that there are people in the workforce to do that and be able to deliver those services, so many of those criminal justice problems would be lessened. Same thing, right? That investment in mental health care is so important. And most certainly there has been a lot of beating of the drum to that tune, and it's not getting through.
Yeah, we just recently met with Annie. We're starting to track now with our truancy referrals that are coming in. We're asking how many of them would have been referred to Teen Line, would have been referred to a program that is no longer available. So we can get more concrete data to show if they don't have those services and the families need help, they're going to come to us.
Right.
And we're going to have to serve them.
No, that prevention makes far more sense than being in this situation.
Yes.
Investment in prevention saves all kinds of hell in the long run.
I will just highlight again, and I know we say it all the time, but at the table, we work well with Andy, we work well with Annie, Mark, Brenda. I will say that I'm always impressed when we go to statewide meetings. We have such a collaboration. We think out of the box, we utilize each other. A lot of counties don't have that. And so we do have that, and we're supporting each other as much as we can. So that's always really good. Yeah.
It was evidenced by everyone that came up.
Yeah.
So thank you all. Do we have any other questions, or did you have more that you wanted to present? Mr. Benner, did you?
No, I don't have it. I mean, I think one of the key things that was said, I think by Lisa, is the numbers haven't really changed. I mean, it's amazing that we're looking at similar numbers of kids when we look at our numbers annually. It's not like we're placing more youth. It's just the youth that we're placing have more significant issues, and they require more significant care from providers that are unable to provide that. So it's at a lot higher rate. So costs are going up, but the number of youth that we're removing from the home has stayed relatively the same or even less. But the dollars are going up. So.
Yeah.
Yep, drastically.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, commissioners. That takes us to agenda item 17, which is the start of the contracts portion of the agenda. And I'll ask Angela to answer those. Thanks.
All right, agenda item 17, I will call on Kim Winton to discuss the contract for Aging and Community Services. Good morning, Kim.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, commissioners. The contract for Department of Agriculture is actually a contract that we currently have in place for Farmers Market Nutrition Program. The reason we have to change the contract is for two reasons. This is a revenue contract. So the first thing is we are getting $1,063 versus $1,000. So we need to change it for that reason. The second reason is the original contract was between Aging and Community Services and the state, and they need it to be with the county commissioners and the state. So that's the two reasons we need to change the contract. So we're asking for approval for that.
Thank you, Kim. I move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you, Kim. Great, that takes us to agenda item 18, and I will call on Jamie River to discuss the contracts for children and youth services. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. The first contract I have is Adelphi Village. They provide group homes, secure institutions, detention, foster care, and in-home services for Cumberland County. They have increases ranging from 2.91% to 8.26% this year, with the exception of a foster care level that is increasing 20.12%. And an in-home visitation service that is increasing 32.99%. However, neither of those programs are programs that we are typically using. They've also added 3 new levels of foster care to their programs for this year, specifically focusing on kinship placements. The next one is for Pathways Adolescent Center. They provide shelter, group homes, and counseling services. They've requested increases for 3 of their 8 levels of service. One increasing 24.16%, one 5.53%, and one 19.9%. And they are actually all below their state maximum allowable in this situation. And they're actually pretty low rates for group home placements also. The last one I have is pediatric specialty care at Hopewell. This provides care for technology dependent and medically complex children. We actually contracted them specifically for a child that we have in our custody with multiple significant medical diagnoses that requires 24/7 medical care. They have not requested an increase since we started contracting with them, but they are requesting a 5% increase this year, going from $140.80 a day to $147.84 a day. Any questions?
Have any? Will entertain a motion. I will move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Jamie. That takes us to agenda item 19, and I will call on Melissa Calvinelli to discuss a contract addendum for court administration. Good morning.
This is actually an amendment to a contract Thonotary has, but we also piggyback on to add the consolidated civil calendaring module as well as interpreter tracking. We don't currently have any consolidated way to track civil schedules. This will put that all in one place. And the interpreter, same issue. There is no place to track the need for interpreters on civil cases. Adding that and the calendaring module allows us to stay on top of that a lot better.
Any questions for Melissa?
I do not have any. I entertain a motion. No, and if I remember correctly, Melissa, from conversations that we have had in the past, this is really going to help the courts to administer and keep track of things and make sure interpreters are here. And yes, thank you. I move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item 20, I will call on Holly Sherman to discuss the contract for human resources. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning. The contract with DISA Global Solutions is for our pre-employment drug screening and background checks. We do anticipate a decrease in the contract amount for the next contract due to the change in our pre-employment drug testing policy, and that we are no longer doing that for every new hire. So we anticipate about $3,000 less for the next contract year.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Holly. Great. That takes us to agenda item 21, and I will call on Miranda Melton to discuss the contracts for MHIDD. Good morning, Miranda.
Good morning. I have several different contracts for you this morning. Starting with IDD, the first one we have is an amendment to fiscal year 24-25. This is an increase from last year for United Cerebral Palsy of Central PA. They are an agency with choice administrator providing community links, community participation and supports, and other in-home and community supports, including residential and respite services. This is an increase of $20,986, and that is due to the need to have additional services. Next are two new contracts for fiscal year 25-26. These are both increases from our contracts last year based on services that have been authorized. The first is for Kencrest Services. They provide community participation support and residential services. Next is for OneWell. They provide companion services as well as in-home and other community support services. Finally, we have our MH contracts. The first one is an increase for our 24-25 contract for New Visions. This increase is based on the need to provide additional services. It is an increase of $14,076. It is for housing support, residential, and other social rehabilitation services. And last but not least, we have a new contract for 25-26. This is for Susquehanna Software. They provide software maintenance and support for several of the programs that we use to check medical assistance eligibility and do our billing for all of our providers. And they are moving to a cloud-based storage system. This is an increase of $4,583 from last year. Are there any questions?
I'm moving to approve, but this just reminds me, there's a constituent who regularly reaches out to me and he says, Jean Fauci, what are you going to do to keep me in my home? And that's what these contracts do. They're in-home supports and community supports. And thank you. Appreciate the hard work. And
Thank you.
It is acknowledged, but they are all under the state funding that we do receive.
Yes.
So it's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Miranda.
Thank you.
Right. Moving on to agenda item 22, I will call on Travis Shank to discuss the contract for the prison. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. The prison is seeking approval for this one-year contract with Prime Care. Prime Care provides our health care, our mental health care, and our MAT program for our inmates in Cumberland County. This contract is for $4,034,532.01, which is an increase of $117,510.64 from last year. This increase is due to a 3% increase in the CPI. Any questions?
Travis, I have one. Sorry. So I think we're all familiar with, there's been a lot of publicity surrounding this company, not a lot of it not flattering. I'm not making any judgment on that, but I think we have an obligation to ask for your assurance that the experiences we've been reading about elsewhere are in no way occurring here.
In the 22 years that Prime Care has been there, sir, we have not seen that problem. That also is a testament to my staff, i.e. the treatment, deputy warden, myself, and my security. We are actively involved in medical to make sure that nothing is being missed, and they are very proactive in everything that they do.
And Warden, if I remember correctly, you did look at other providers in this process.
We got some numbers and stuff and we compared them, and I can assure you that with the service that we are receiving from Prime Care, I would not bring this in front of you unless I was sure that we are getting the best that we can get.
Thank you, Warden. Thank you. Any other questions? Will entertain a motion to approve? I'll move to approve. It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. 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 Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 23, I will call on Katie Zimmerman to discuss a grant application for the Public Defender's Office. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning. I am requesting permission to apply for a $200,000 grant for the Public Defender Office. This is a competitive opportunity that PCCD is giving us with federal funds, but the federal funds are allocated, so I don't expect there to be difficulties with, getting the federal funds. These funds would be used to hire 2 social workers to continue the work that the Partners for Justice non-attorney advocates are currently doing. So after their contract with the county ends, these would be internal hires to continue that good work of providing holistic public defense to clients, meaning helping them with all of the things that make it hard to comply with court orders. So I can answer any questions you might have about the grant, and Michael's here if you have any questions about the program.
Katie, I guess you don't know how competitive it is until you.
It's actually not the worst. They expect to fund 20 grants.
Okay.
So I guess we're against 67 counties if they all apply, but I don't know if they'll all apply.
Okay.
Michael, from your conversations with us, the use of the social workers is freeing up public defenders to be able to spend more time with their clients and their cases.
That is correct.
And is helping people to get to court. It's helping people to get to programs and stay in programs.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I move to approve.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. Is there discussion?
No.
Gary, did you?
I just wanted Michael to know, I thought we had Zelensky on the screen here, so we don't have any missiles to send you, so.
So no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None? Okay, thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Katie and Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, that takes us to agenda item 24, and I will call on Bob Shively to discuss the contract for public safety. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Morning, Commissioners. Requesting your approval of a Motorola contract. I know we're nearing the go live for the new system. We're looking ahead and in coordination with the regional group, a contract for overall system maintenance and service. This is being coordinated regionally with the other system counties, Dauphin, Adams, and Franklin, who are due for their maintenance contract renewals. It will be a 6-year contract starting 1 year from the go live, which we would anticipate starting coverage in January of 2027. So again, a year out. Our contract total for the entire 6 years is $6,898,746. That will include pretty comprehensive coverage, system monitoring, 24/7, 365, remote technical support, network hardware repair and response from the tech services, system update services and patching of software, cyber monitoring, annual preventative maintenance, on-site infrastructure response to all 19 locations, as well as the communications center. The contract does also provide for any needed replacement of software, firmware, and even hardware replacement every 2 years if needed. So switches, routers, that type of computer equipment.
So, Bob, I know you had mentioned in this is part of the new P25. When this project was started, prior to working with the other regions, this cost you were staring at, instead of roughly $1 million a year, was how much?
Yeah, our initial quote and discussions, it was going to be about 1.9 million. Collectively with the region, it's about 1.4 million. 381,000 of that, because of the regional effort, is eligible for the 15% interconnectivity money with PEMA 911. So that gets our total down to around $1 million a year.
Million a year. So thank you very much. This is terribly expensive to not just do these radios and upgrading this system, as this board has approved $30 million in debt to make that happen. And your team has worked, very, very hard on implementing it. This report indicates that this will be paid through the 911 uniform funding monies that we received. Is that correct?
Well, there's always the caveat that yes, but we overrun that typically, and so depending on where that falls and at what point we run out of 911 uniform funding, that does impact subsidy.
Yes. So I guess it's very important that that our local delegates, representatives approve the 911 funding at the end of this calendar year, I believe. I know, Mike, is it 2020 for 2026?
Expires in January. Yeah.
In January. Okay, so we'll be watching that very closely, obviously hoping for an increase to help with these increased costs.
Yeah, that's very impactful, because that would be at least $6 million if that wasn't renewed.
Yeah, $6 million if they don't do it. I'm not sure where that's coming from in our budget. If we can't get 911 subsidy funding.
And when you say that, I think it's important, is we've talked about this P25 radio project for a very long time now, since I've been here. This is a national project. This is not something that we all sat down and dreamt up and went, oh, we want to upgrade and spend all of these millions of dollars. This was a national project that has to be done so that we can have connectivity for public safety. It's important, and making sure everything is running is important, and making sure it's maintained is important. So it is expensive. This was not our idea. Yeah, but
Thank you for doing all you have done to make it as affordable as possible,
Yes.
given.
Brian and the tech team have done the yeoman's share of the work, but it's been a full group effort and all our partner agencies too, with trying to get radio orders together and local monies. And so it's been definitely a full court press.
Yes.
We're happy to see it coming to fruition.
Thank you.
I will move to approve.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. And then,
Oh, you got another one.
yeah, that ends the contract section, so I'm gonna hand it back over to Stacy, but
And I'm going to ask Bob to continue on with the next agenda item, which is a capital project request for, well, I'm gonna let you describe it.
Okay. Request the approval of a capital project request to upfit our 2006 Ford F-550 Ford hazmat vehicle. It's a heavy utility truck. We're looking to replace the compartment body on the back of the truck to extend the life of the vehicle. It has relatively low mileage because we use it for the hazardous materials response. The current body has cracks in the compartments, which is causing leaks in the compartment body and affecting some of the equipment. We do have some very high-priced hazmat metering equipment and things like that in the vehicle. So we'd like to replace the body, and the price is not to exceed $30,000.
Bob, just out of curiosity, if we had to replace this vehicle, what kind of a cost would you be talking about?
We looked at a slightly smaller frame vehicle, 95,000 to about 120.
Okay.
So depending on which Ford model you would get at state contract price, and then you'd have some, again, upfit, emergency lighting and things like that. But straight contract price was starting at 95,000.
What was expected life of that vehicle?
We think we'll get at least another 10 years out of it.
Oh, great.
Fantastic.
And it's been maintained by the county garage, and other than oil changes, no real.
So I move to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. Thanks, Bob. One quick question for you, though. Putting the windows up and down, a button or a crank?
Button in it. Yeah, power windows.
Oh,
Yeah, the Suburban, we just,
okay. I kind of thought you were gonna say the crank and it was.
No,
gonna
the
be,
other- the
okay.
Suburban, the 2000 Suburban still has a crank.
Okay.
Not on the front, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not to start it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that. And we'll move on then to agenda item 26. We have Jennifer Gibney here to discuss a capital project request for domestic relations.
Good morning. So I am requesting approval to purchase a 2025 Ford SUV Interceptor for our enforcement department. This vehicle will be replacing our 2021, which was in a no-fault accident in July. Unfortunately, after the insurance adjuster reviewed the damage, that vehicle has been totaled. We will be receiving a settlement of $21,700, which we would apply to the purchase of the new vehicle. It is 66% reimbursable through the federal government. We did build contingency into the $65,000 based upon the fact that we believe the grant as well as the insurance settlement should cover that full value or purchase price. So we're hoping to purchase this quickly. So after an approval, we'll be working with the state and the county to make that happen. Okay, any questions?
Jennifer, I appreciate you, with all the other money you're pulling together to make this happen, particularly it was an incident that didn't, was no fault to the driver. But we really can't rely on the federal money as we found. So, but I appreciate, hopefully we'll get it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, I had a phone conference earlier this week. We have been approved to submit for that reimbursement. So hopefully, we do get it. So
That's a good sign.
yeah, it is. I was very happy to hear that. So
Okay,
Thank you
all
very
right.
much.
I move to approve. Just moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you. That takes us to agenda item 27, which is the capital project request for IMTO. And Chad McKay is here to discuss.
Morning, everyone. So IMTO would like to transition us from our current printing infrastructure, which is print servers, to a cloud printing based infrastructure. Basically what the benefits for us is it's going to allow us to centrally manage all our printers here at the county. Right now we have close to 10 to 11 servers that are spread out throughout the county buildings that when we have to manage a printer, we have to go to that specific printer server. So this will put it all in one-stop shopping for us. This allows centralized deployment too as well, easy deployment. Usually if printers come out with new drivers, we have to go to each print server and do it. This will just have to do it in one-stop shopping. So it'll help users get up and printing quickly. It also will have built-in auditing. We'll be able to analyze printing trends, what printers are being used heavily, who's printing heavily. We may need to discuss with Department 8, you're printing 1 million pages in 6 months. So what's going on? Some benefits to the employees. They'll be able to print to any county building they go to. Lately, we've been seeing a public defender, I'll use for example, they go out to the DJ offices and they'll be like, we need a printer. We have to then log in, install the printer, log out, have them log in. They'll be able to do self-installation of printers. We also will have the ability to print from all mobile devices, cell phones and tablets.
Good.
A lot of departments now are asking for the iPads to continue their services. Tax assessment's going to be one. They're going to switch to, iPads. They'll be able to print from that as well. So the total cost is a yearly cost of $13,332. Total over the 5 years is $66,660.
Just for my reference, approximately how many printers are across the county?
Because they do, typically cloud printing it's a product cost per server or per machine, 250 some.
Okay. But
that doesn't include like CAD has them. We don't include the CAD ones because that's public safety, but the county alone has 250.
Okay. A lot of them.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Go visit.
We
So
have a
this
lot.
sounds like a real efficiency improvement.
Yeah, we did a proof of concept with children and youth just to see how it works because it's not new, but it's new to us. And yeah, we could see everything was printing. We're like, wow, they really print a lot. They had the most printing issues, and we were able to cut their printing issues down a lot. So I think it's going to be good for us.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I could provide testimony.
Yeah, if you've ever printed, the other thing with the print servers is it's starting to bottleneck. So we'd have to get more print servers. And so when we go away from print servers, it also frees up some resources to put towards other things on that server.
Oh, very good. I move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chad. And I'll just note that Bob is going to be very excited because typically when we're sitting in a meeting at public safety, I have to say, oh, hey, can you print this for me? And now I won't have to. I'll be able to print it myself.
Should we be looking for people printing to random printers though?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out too, but because we actually thought of senior management and stuff going to different places.
Right, absolutely.
They need printers, so we were thinking, well, we'll just put 1 or 2 in a department, but yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so that takes us then to Commissioner Liaison reports.
Yes, so for me, the last 2 weeks were not as active as typical, but I attended the Tri-County Community Action Board meeting as well as the Fund Development Committee meeting. And the Mechanicsburg Fire Department groundbreaking event, that was a beautiful day and a project a long time in the making with the merger of 2 fire companies and the demolition of one of the firehouses. So they will be building, hopefully, their fingers are crossed, they will be completed by the end of 2026. And there was also a beautiful tribute to the fire chief that had retired at that same day. And he had such a long and distinguished career. I believe Penn Live may have run a really lovely article about him. Additionally, I attended the CADIC Tourism Committee meeting that they continue to review the guidelines, purpose, limits, and timeline for the grants. They will be changing the timeline to apply for those grants to a quarterly review. So stay tuned for that. That's going to help them manage the funding a little bit better and the process. So those notices will be on the CADIC website. Additionally, I think both of my colleagues attended the CADIC board meeting, so I won't take a lot of time on that other than to say that the board, I really appreciated the board chair taking time to explain the relationship of the real estate collaborative to the board, and the detailed information was shared from the real estate collaborative regarding the project at Frog Switch. There is a microsite for those folks interested in reviewing what is happening on the Frog Switch site. It's available on the CADIC website, and I encourage everyone to check it out. They're going to be sharing information, tracking progress, and old photos, which would, if anyone's driven by the site recently, it looks very, very different. And the only other thing I will say about the CADIC board meeting, I believe that the board has, the reporting to the board has drastically improved, and that it appears to me that they are operating with more transparency the more information that's provided, and I deeply appreciate that. Additionally, I attended the Cumberland County Planning Commission. There were 2 properties presented by the Redevelopment Authority's Blight Board, and both were certified as blighted by the Planning Commission. West Pennsboro Township had an ASA submission along with new zoning and map. All of those items were approved. There was an approval provided for the Middlesex Township zoning ordinance and map, and that has been a long-awaited 3-year process. So I know that the group in the planning department was happy to see that finally get wrapped up. Additionally, the Planning Commission had a very contested issue at that meeting. They were asked to weigh in on a curative amendment for a project at the corner of Wartsville Road and Good Hope Road, based on a rezoning request. The request was not acted upon by Hampton Township in January, which was deemed a denial, so the issue is now with the courts. The judge asked the county planning and the township planning board to weigh in on the matter with a recommendation. And the Planning Commission had a very thoughtful discussion. It was really very insightful, the questions they asked, and there was a lot of public participation and comment on that matter, which they accepted very graciously. Additionally, then the commission ultimately recommended a rezoning from RC, which was residential country, to CPL, which was commercial park limited, which was instead of what the developer was requesting was a commercial general zoning, which was much more intense. So it will now be in the hands of the court. But I also wanted to say the Planning Commission took it upon themselves, and I appreciated this, to provide a strong recommendation for the township to work with the applicant and the residents to update their comp plan and resolve the matter if they could outside of court. So I wanted this board, sorry, that's a pretty lengthy description, but we may all, receive some feedback regarding that. But the Planning Commission was really, did a phenomenal job, of course, led by Kurt Stoner. And Steve Hoffman, they did a great job. That's it for my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Fauci.
Hello, good morning, everyone. On August 14th, I attended the DEP public hearing that was held at the Penn Township Fire Hall. This was the public hearing on the draft permit for a warehouse, and there was an extreme amount of public comment at that event. I think there were maybe 90 people in the room. About 45 people gave public comment with their concerns about possible pollution of the Big Spring watershed. So I went and I listened, and boy, I learned a lot. And I was very impressed with the public that came and gave their comment. On August 19th, Commissioner Nieder and I participated in the Tri-County Housing 10th Annual Golf Outing. I sliced all day. Kelly golfed very well.
I don't know about that, but it
And,
was fun.
Yeah, we had a great time. It
beautiful
was
day.
great to support the Tri-County Housing Group.
I think they
820
made over like 55,000 or
Yes,
something
yeah,
on the
yeah.
audit, so
They did well.
goes to great projects.
Yes. August 21st, the Cumberland County Housing and Redevelopment Authority met. A couple of things have come out of that meeting. The first one is that the Housing and Redevelopment Authority is putting an investment into public housing in terms of maintenance and upkeep of public housing. But homelessness is on the rise, and Community Care sent an email, I believe all of us received that this morning, talking about homelessness increasing in this county since January by 34%, which is, yes, it's an alarming number. And with that being said, and I know that the press covered this from the meeting, housing is closing the voucher. They're closing their voucher list and they're closing their public housing list because they are full. There is nowhere to move people at this point in time, and there is such a lack of funding that is where they're at. They're closing that list, both of those lists. So I want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. That is very concerning to me, very concerning to me. I'm sure it's concerning to our board. And the Redevelopment Authority talked about how they have put together toolkits for each municipality as a reminder that the authority is here and that they can help with lots of things that are going on. So I wanted to get those things out for you. The Conservation District met Tuesday night. So 23rd annual golf outing, September 26th, shotgun start at 9 a.m. I cannot be there. I have a HATS meeting. I know I cannot. I know, but another great, all of the money that's raised at this golf tournament goes to conservation education scholarships. And we have approved those scholarships here at this board. And we have fabulous students in this county that are into conservation. And I mean, they are doing such impressive things at Ivy League schools, at local schools. They are just unbelievably intelligent human beings that are thankfully going into conservation.
And occasionally we get a great employee out of it.
Absolutely, we do. Absolutely, we do. The Conservation's tree sale, be ready for it. I know it's April 16th and 17th of 2026, but it's going to be a great tree sale. We went through and picked out what we're going to sell, including elderberry bushes. So that's a new one. That's a good one. The district, they went over their budget for their proposed budget for next year. That proposed budget looks very good. I think Commissioner Nieder, you will be very pleased when you see those numbers. They did a Chesapeake Bay inspection update. They did nutrient management plans for Randall Martin, Locust Grove Farm, and Molly Pitcher Milk LLC. They went over program enforcement considerations, and the board approved the hiring of a new E&S program manager. So good things are always happening at conservation. The local emergency planning committee, their summit, October 9th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Army Heritage Education Center. The theme is Safer and Stronger Together. Register for it every year now. It's been a sold out show. I know that the board received invitations to that. I would remind you to use the Cumberland County Library System. And the school has started, tutor.com, right? Tutor.com will help you with absolutely anything that you could need, including learning calculus, algebra. They have an app. The library provides an app to help you learn a new language. So instead of going and paying for one, you can get one for free at the library system. I did the 822, the STOP team meeting. I attended the STOP team meeting. Domestic violence is on the rise in this county in a tremendous way just in the past 3 or 4 months. So homelessness, domestic violence, I think we've got some things coming at us that we need to be prepared to help with. So that's all I have, Stacy. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Eichelberger.
Okay, just briefly, most of the groups did not meet. The human services related ones are all still basically reporting largely a holding pattern, waiting on the Commonwealth, of course, no surprise. So the only thing I really have to add in terms of a meeting was, actually they didn't meet either, but recycling did hold their household hazardous waste event last week. They had 377 customers, collected 32,021 pounds of waste materials. Obviously, still a great need for that service. So it has validated itself year after year. So Justin did notify me that DEP Commonwealth emailed him last week to let him know that in terms of the yard waste equipment transfer that we've been trying to effect for a while, that DEP has received the request from the recycling committee to transfer that equipment to Hampton Township, and that they would begin that process. So details on exactly what a timeline that may involve, but DEP has always been kind of holding the keys to the castle on that, and now they are actively involved. So that's a good sign. We're looking forward to transferring that out. That's all I need.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. That takes us then to agenda item 29, which is report of executive sessions. And I would like to report that on August 21st, 2025 at 9:30 a.m., there was an executive session regarding personnel. And now I will ask if there is any other business to come before the board today. Hearing none, seeing none.